Hello, my name is Maria Jacobs. I live in Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio, and I have been a member of Hallow since its inception. I have lived with bipolar disorder and all of its perils my entire adult life. I have had countless setbacks, but none as serious as the one I endured back in 2007. I was living in Los Angeles, trying to gain some footing and make a career for myself as a singer-songwriter, and failing miserably. LA was not the place for me anymore, as all the signs would indicate, but I would not listen. Stubbornly, I worked fiercely to make a way for myself instead of letting God take control of my life. My disease, as a result, began to overtake me. I ignored my treatment much of the time and could no longer manage my life. It caught up with me. Voluntarily, I found myself in inpatient treatment for the second time in 6 months for extreme mania. I was defeated in every way. I had been awake and paranoid for 4 full days. You heard right. 96 hours straight. I was hurting beyond measure. The pharmaceutical therapy they gave me helped a little. I began to sleep on and off, but I was still filled with fear and paranoia. I was at the lowest point in my life. I had to leave my job to go into treatment. I had no idea how I would pay my rent with no job and no ability to work, and my health was not looking like it would improve anytime soon. My disease and my desire for a career eclipsed my faith life that I'd nearly forgotten. I was lost. I returned to the one room I rented in someone else's home, like many starving artists did in LA. I laid on my bed, curled up in a ball, and sobbed as I drifted in and out of sleep. I'd given up, surrendering like I'd never surrendered before. What else could I do? Everything was taken away from me. I could not function professionally, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually. That's when something miraculous happened. I heard the words, "Tell them about me." I did what any resident of the natural world would do. I feared and doubted, though it was in my spiritual purview to believe that this was a divine intervention. Raised a Catholic, I was no stranger to the prophetic nature of the Bible and the true stories of Abraham and Moses, among others, who heard the voice of God. Steeped heavily in the human condition, however, I questioned, was I really just chosen to tell people about the glory of God that I just witnessed up close and personal? Deep down, however, I knew I had just received a divine visit. Jesus met me in my extreme brokenness, and it wouldn't be long before everything began to change. I didn't do anything immediately, however. God hadn't made my next steps clear to me yet. He was very patient with me. He revealed more in His perfect time. I finally accepted that I would not achieve my destiny in LA, and I moved home to Ohio, a move that probably saved my life. As years went on, I began more and more to process the beautiful mystery of the divine experience. I came to the conclusion that while this was a miracle in itself, it was also a foreshadowing of the miracles to come, many of which I didn't even ask for. God was putting me back together differently, and He made it clear He wanted me to testify. Tell them about me. The Lord began to take hold of my faith life. He gave me the opportunity to teach music in Catholic schools where the Mass became a regular part of my life again. Then He began giving me Christian music to write, something I'd never done before this beautiful experience. Next, though I never dreamt of becoming an author, God gave me a 50,000-word Christian memoir to write, detailing my entire journey and testimony. After years of failed attempts to hold down a steady job for longer than 6 months, I now celebrate 5 years as a professor of voice and 10 years as a licensed music educator. Finally, as if all of that weren't enough, God blessed my first dream. because he is just that good. My music reached national platforms, something that was impossible to achieve in LA. With God, I have overcome a battle so many have lost and lived to give him all the glory. My doctors describe my life with bipolar disorder today as in remission, but that is just part one of his immeasurable grace and mercy. Mine is a story of surrender and redemption. Jesus shone his glorious light in my darkest hour, reminding me that this disease does not define me. He reminded me of who I am, a daughter of the Most High King, with work to do in the kingdom. Tell them about me. Thank you for letting me share my miracle with you.